That's my book instead. That's my book instead. See my book instead. Good morning, guys. Lizzie1. I saw Adriana jump in here. I didn't see anybody. Thanks for inviting people. Courage Doc. Good morning. Melissa. M. Ricci. Good morning. Carla. Good morning. Izzy. Good morning as well. Curly Hair Designs. Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here. There we go. Moaning. Good morning, Donald Smith. Good to see you. Hey, Marcel Andreas. Good to see you, man. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing well. Guten Morgen or Guten Tag. So I think it's the afternoon there for you. So Guten Tag. Long time. Good to see you as well. Welcome. Now my copy. Got your copy. Awesome. Reading out. Took time off work. That's awesome. N Blake 19. I really appreciate that. It's awesome. Again, you can afternoon. You can always ask me questions if you have a question about something you read in my book or something that I say. Nah, no worries, man. You're living your life, Marcel. That's not a big deal. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's not a big deal whatsoever. I absolutely understand. So don't worry about it. You're good, man. I see your stuff on Instagram. I see you with the food and everything else and trying to live clean. So it's awesome. What's going on? Hey, what's going on, Greg Walker? Great rising, grand rising to you. Hey, happy Slappy Inc. Take a look at Greg Walker. He's an amazing, dominating speaker, motivator, business coach guy as well. He's also speaking at Periscope Summit. Can't wait for the scope. Oh, what's up, Melissa? Yes, thanks so much. The Big Dreamer. He's also speaking at Periscope Summit, which is in January 14th to the 17th. Or 16th, I think, in San Francisco. So go check it out. You can Google Periscope Summit. You can take a look at whatever Greg Walker has to say is something that you most likely should listen to if you want to get your life together. So that's a guy you should check out. Also, Sandy, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute as well. Good morning. Need help with meeting soon? Yes. The course comes out early January, and I'm doing a webinar next week on the 28th. And I haven't set up the webinar. I think I'm gonna do two webinars, two live webinars. I'm gonna round everything out and then give people an opportunity to get in. The first webinar, it's going on Deadbeat Docs. The first webinar, if you get into the first webinar, the price is like 45% off. After that, that's a fast action bonus, and then you get more stuff. You get access to me and stuff, and then it goes back to where it's supposed to be. So I'm launching a course January 4th or 5th, like that week, I think. So be open. And then I'm going to do a series of people and then keep going. Anyways, I'll explain that in a second. People who are coming in here, I appreciate you coming in here. I'm going to tell you who I am in 2 seconds. But before I do that, if you're new in the scope, please put a 1 in the chat box so I know you're new and then I can tailor what I'm about to say, how I introduce myself. Thank you so much, Clem Neol. I don't know what your name is. Clem Neol. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've always tried to seek wisdom in my life, and as a result, it's a responsibility to share. Good to be here, Wendy. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday. It's literally 4 days before Christmas, so thank you so much. Izzy, thanks for being in here. Dave Shrine, he is like, for lack of a better term, and I can't be any PC than this, but he's the shit. So check this guy out. Clemson Knowles. Okay. Clemson Knowles Tech, Ramon. Okay, got it. Dave is the shit. Check him out. The scopes are off the chain. He's good with marketing and email, stuff like that. I don't know how else to say it, but check him out as well. One of the first guys in live streaming in Periscope that I found, and I love his stuff. No, you're welcome. The smart chick, Cynthia Bazin, she's another person. She's killing it on social. She's beating social with a stick. I see her everywhere, Twitter, YouTube. I mean, she's just killing it. So another person you want to follow. She has very informative scopes and shares a lot of information and helps, tries to help you get your life and your business together. So, check her out as well. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Dave. My name, follow Cynthia. She's awesome. My name is Ebongeka. And before I continue, do me a favor. I ask you guys to do 2 things for me and 2 things only every single time. Give me a bunch of hearts as you see the hearts that are going here. And then the second thing I ask you to do is to share this with your friends and followers. Invite your friends, invite your followers. Click the Perry dude, swipe up, swipe right, if it's iPhone, swipe up if it's Android, and click share broadcast and get it out here. There are a lot of phenomenal people on the scope. So every single time I give a Periscope, and people like this, like Cynthia and Dave and Greg and also Sandy and Marcel, I mean, the list goes on. Donna, every time I see people like that on my scope, I feel humbled that people take the time out of their life to spend with me. And that's going to go into my message for today for Monday morning. So, to share this out with you guys really quickly, let me tell you who I am. My name is Ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, The No Business Plan Business Plan. It can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, in the store, online, Kindle, the Nook, if you want, like e-readers, wherever you want to get it. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Start Me Up. You can get a copy at startmeupbook.com, signed copy from me. It's an easy way to get started without a business plan. Yes, I am a little earlier today. I'm trying to start earlier, getting it ready for 2016. I have a lot to do. I'm also the founder of Economics. If you checked out the title, Economics is my business consultancy, where we help you focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. And without those three areas being congruent, mission, mindset, money, if those three areas are all jacked up, you don't live the life that you want. You don't live the life of prosperity. You don't live the life of happiness. People struggle in life because one of those three areas, if not all of them, are not handled. So the mindset and the mission and the mindset are key. Your purpose, the mindset that you need in order to stay in a certain lane, in order to figure out and be able to see the bigger picture. That's where the wisdom comes from. And then your money, whether it's your career, whether it's a business entrepreneur that you're starting, whatever it is, those three areas have to be handled in your life. So, I do scopes on motivation as well as small business, media and marketing tactics. As I mentioned earlier, Greg mentioned earlier, I got a course, The Big Dreamer. I got a course coming out on how to grab media attention, because I'm also a TV finance contributor. I write for Huffington Post, and I'm on a Fox News and MSNBC and CNN. And I go on, I talk about the economy and small business, politically agnostic, but that's it. But I don't want to talk about me right now. Today, I want to share with you guys, wasted time is worse than wasted money. And I started thinking about this because there are a lot of people that I see online, some blogs that I read, where they're always focused about pinching pennies. And I see people pinching pennies, cutting coupons. There are even TV shows of people who do extreme couponing. They cut coupons. They pinch pennies, right? But what they don't realize is they spend majority of their time cutting coupons and pinching pennies to save $10. When in reality, that extra hour they could have spent, they could have made $100. Is it a digital book? It's only digital if you have Kindle and Nook. So it was traditionally published, so it's not an ebook. So you can get it on, if you have Amazon, you get Amazon Kindle, or you can go to Barnes & Noble's Nook, which is their e-readers. Those are the ways you can get it, if you can get the app. Exactly, Dave. Exactly. I love it. And again, Angel, the same thing. So a lot of people spend a lot of their time being concerned about cutting costs and saving money. And this reminded me of a scope that Zach Spuckler did last week, where he's talking about when he first started out his launch, he was trying to do this as cheaply as possible, what product he had. He didn't pay for the requisite services. He didn't get the software that would have made his life a lot easier. He didn't get like lead pages. He didn't get some other things. Hey, what's going on, Danielle? Danielle's another great person to follow. She's recently new in scope in the last couple of weeks, and she's really killing it. I love the stuff she's doing. An advocate and an expert in the Down syndrome community, but more importantly, she's out there sharing information with people about taking control of your life, of your own environment, and your own economy. So that's the whole point, is taking control. That's what this country is about, taking control of yourself. So she's a great person to follow. I love catching up on her scopes. She's off scripting, no scripting. She doesn't do any scripted scopes. So spending money helps you get the logistics done so I can get the content built. Exactly. Welcome here, a grateful lady. Thank you for being here. And Dave, you make a very good point. That's what people struggle with. They don't think from that perspective. So what ends up happening is this. They think they're saving money, but in the long run, it's costing them money. They're not taking the time maybe to find that virtual assistant. They're trying to cut corners and pinch pennies instead of getting that software that can actually make their ability to collect emails a lot easier. They don't spend the money because they think they can do it manually. Then when too much stuff comes, too much information comes, they're overwhelmed. So so if you get anything that I'm saying to you today, if you are a small business owner, you're starting to start a small business, you're trying to do something in your life that requires you to go out and get money, The part of your mind that has to change, the mindset shift you need, is to realize that wasted time is worse than wasted money. There's so many other angles to this. So the first one I'm sharing with you is technology and what you use to get where you want. There are people who are cutting coupons, who are trying to do things themselves because they think they're saving $100. But they don't realize is they are spending 10 hours of their time to save $100. You make more than $10 per hour. How does that make sense? Right? So if I'm in a situation, I'm in a store, I want to buy something, they're like, well, if you get this coupon and then fill this out and then go over here, you can save $5 on a $30 purchase. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to spend 30 minutes doing all this to save $5. I'm not interested. Right? And so you have to be very, very intentional and deliberate with the time you spend, how you spend it. The second area. People waste time more than they waste. People are more concerned. Wasted time is worse than wasted money. And here's the other point of that. And this happens with your friends. It happens with the time you spend watching TV, reading a magazine in the stores, right? Sitting around, sleeping in. I don't understand why successful people pay for assistants to do personal. Exactly. That's a great point, Dave. And my life changed when I started finding external help. When I started finding virtual assistants and people to help me, right? I was talking to somebody about this once, and I suggested you get a VA, and they said, well, I don't have $100 to spend. And I said $100 per month or whatever the charge was. And I said, look, let's break this down into numbers, and then we can make a financial decision and not one that you think it's emotional. How can I get funding for my business? I'm going to answer that in a second. You're not going to like the answer, but I'm going to answer that in a second. And so if you break down things financially, you can make better sense of what action you should take, right? Because again, money doesn't have emotion. Money doesn't care about your emotion, doesn't care about the good things. It rewards things oftentimes it rewards people who make good, prudent decisions, right? And so the key is understanding exactly how self-titled changes your life. Because it allows you to focus on the things that are more important in your business, in your life, your household. I take my laundry out to get done. I no longer do my own laundry. I told people this initially, they laughed. I said, well, look at it this way. I pay $1 a pound to get my laundry done. $1 a pound for my laundry every 2 to 3 weeks. They wash, they iron, they put on hangers, they fold, and they give it back to me in a nice big white bag. And all I have to do is take it out of the bag and put it in my drawers. I no longer have to spend 4 hours of my life every other week to do stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Hey, so broadcasting. Hey, Shell 3290. Let me answer some of your questions. You're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. That's good. That's a good place to be. The good place to be is saying that you're tired. Because what has to happen first is I want you to make a decision. I want you to make a decision that I no longer am going to live this way. When you start thinking that way, your brain says, okay, I agree with you. And it'll start allowing you to open your mind to things you can do. Now, the question you asked earlier was, how do I get funding? Right? How do I get funding to pay for my business? Thank you, Cynthia. That's so nice of you. How do I get funding to pay for my business? How do I get money to start my child daycare center? This is the thing. No one's going to give you money. Very few people are going to give you money. I say no one, but a lot of people aren't going to give you money. My dad said, let's fix your car struts. I said, I'll just pay. And rather than hang, and exactly, Dave. That's great. So no one wants to give you money for you to start your child care center. And here's why, because you've never done one before, right? You wouldn't do the same thing. If you had money, you would not give to money. You would ask somebody, have you done this before? They said, no. You said, I don't want to give you my money. You don't want to be the first person. So that's part of the struggle. So what you have to do is you have to start incrementally small. So maybe it means you start doing child care services of your own, right? Maybe out of your home. You follow what your state prescribes, right? Because they all have different limits and different restrictions and regulations. Follow your state regulations, do what they tell you to do, and then slowly grow from there. I know people and clients I've worked with who started out doing dog walking services. I mean, they were walking a couple dogs here and there, but their ability to scale came down to standardizing a process, but they had to start small because no one's going to give you money. I used to write, that's the reason why I wrote this book. I was writing business plans for years during the dot-com days, during the mid-2000s, and people weren't giving money. The ideas were great. They weren't giving you money. What if you already made a decision? No more cubicle. How do you monetize yourself? Jet Beauty E, Good question. Let me ask you this simple question. What skills do you have that the market is willing to pay you for? That's the first answer you have to come up. That's the first question you have to answer. What skills do you have that the market will gladly pay you for? If you can do that, that'll help you determine and figure out whether or not, how you can start to monetize what you want to do. What if you can't do home daycare? We have a dog. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. What's more, the dog, home daycare? You guys, you can't, like, you're not in a situation you can have it both ways, right? With more than what, exactly. That's a great point what Dave said. That's a great point that Dave said. Oh, thank you so much, Greg, the big dreamer. You're awesome. And so part of going back to what you said, you got a dog. Look, you have to figure out what is important to you. It's going to require you to make sacrifices. I'm not telling you to get rid of your dog. I'm not telling you to get rid of anything. What I am telling you is this. You have to think about how it can work. If you really want to do a daycare center, find other people who are doing daycare centers and find out how they started. That's the best way, is to model your path after the success of others. Go to the library. You can go to the library if you don't want to buy the book from Barnes and Nobles. Do a search. Go to your local library. Find a book on entrepreneurship, not entrepreneurship, but a book on starting your own daycare. One person bought a business. Find out how they did it. It's not as simple as they just bought the business. You need to find out how they, ask them specifically how they did it. When I decided to launch my business, I sold my house and moved with my parents. Me, wife, 2 kids. That's it, Dave. That's exactly how it is, man. Like, it's a level of commitment. That's part of why making the decision matters. Because when you make a decision, when you wake up in the morning and it doesn't look like the way you want it to look, and you're upset and you're like, this sucks, I'm tired of being poor, all this kind of stuff. Making the decision is what keeps you going. Because you know what it's going to look like to you, right? So, going back to you in the daycare, it does suck. But going back to you in the daycare, you have to find other people who are currently doing it. That's how it works, right? There's no secret. There's no one. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I want to encourage you to be more creative as to how to find out how somebody else is doing it. Right? Go to find the local daycare centers, because they're various kinds. They're the ones that have lots of money, and they're the ones who don't have any money. They're the ones who just started. They're the ones who started at home. Find out other people you can maybe partner with. Maybe you guys create a daycare center together. But that's how it has to start with you. Must also know how to handle bookkeeping. Exactly. That's you too. That's your little chuck down. That's a separate issue. You haven't even started. So you're right. All that stuff matters, the bookkeeping and the payroll and all that stuff. But you haven't even started. So like there's steps. And so the thing I'm trying to tell people is this. If you start thinking about everything you need to do for an idea, you will never start, because your brain will tell you that your brain will be overwhelmed by the amount of information and activity that's required to get to that level. It's telling the truth. No one's giving money out. Exactly. I know for a fact because I've tried it. There you go. That's a great idea. So you're thinking a little bit more creatively. I love that. Like you're thinking a little bit more creatively. Start to do babysitting to raise the money, and save the money. Some of the money goes to you personally. Save the money for your down payment. Save the money for whatever. Because here's the thing. If you go to an investor, you go to a bank, they want to know that you put money into the game. Here's why. If you have no money and you go ask a bank for $100,000, they'll say, how much are you putting in? And then you'll say, I don't have any money. They'll say, exactly. Because if I give you $100,000 and it doesn't work out, you can walk away. Even if you're the nicest person in the world, you can walk away. Why? Because that bank is still on the hook for $100,000. It's a psychological hey, Mr. Williams, good to see you, man. It's a psychological principle that shows that if you put skin in the game, if you put an investment in, if you put something tangible in there, you're a lot less likely to walk away from it. That's why people don't walk away from houses as readily as other people do from rent. Think about it. When you buy a house, you put a down payment in, you put 20% down, you have money in the house, right? People walk away from rent all the time. But with a down payment on a house, they physically wrote a check. The money physically came out of their account. They're not going to walk away as easily. They'll work hard to try and keep it. So that's kind of the thing you have to think about. You got to come up with some skin in the game. Find other people in your area, in your town, who are doing exactly what you want to do. Read a book on starting. There you go. That's a great point too. Going down. Exactly. I love it. So that's another thing too. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaches. Why? I spent thousands of dollars on coaches, conferences, books. I read 3 to 4 books a month. I speak to somebody regularly. Why? Because I need to focus on stuff like that. Oh yeah, I do know Koki. Koki, I've known Koki for a long time. I used to play basketball with Koki. When I first moved to the Washington, D.C. area, Paul, I used to play basketball with Koki in Gaithersburg. That's my first place I lived in 2003. So yeah, I know Koki. I see him all the time. We play on a team. We play on a rec league team, and we just won a championship this weekend on Saturday. So yeah, I know Koki and his wife pretty well, and a lot of people from that area in Gaithersburg, at the Rio at Sport and Health. But thank you, Z Celeste. So going back to what I was saying, I think somebody else had a question, but I can't remember. But again, wasted time is worse than wasted money. And now the second point of my wasted time versus is worse than wasted money is very simple. Are you wasting time with your friends? Are you wasting time eating and drinking? Are you wasting time on things that you know you shouldn't be doing when you should be focusing on your dream? Are you wasting time sleeping? Now, yes, I said sleeping could be a waste. If you're sleeping 10, 12 hours, right, and you hate getting up in the morning to go to work, what are you really doing? How badly do you want this? See, the thing with the human brain is when we hit a level of comfort. Hey, Kerry Brown, good to see you. Thank you for being in here. Thanks for being a first timer. I appreciate you. Hope you're a long timer. Follow me. You can get a lot of my scopes. My name is Ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, the No Business Plan, Business Plan. In addition to that, I'm the founder of Economics. We focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money, and the importance of those 3 areas of your life to be congruent. Dominate in South Carolina, Lulu Chucktown. Good to see you in here. Thank you for being in my scope. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. Do you have a list of books you recommend? I need to work on my book list. It's not very good right now. I haven't really put it online, but I need to share that with people in general. Very appropriate scope. Thank you, Curly Hair Designs. Good morning, Gigi. I love it. Good to see you in here. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. We'll say at my house. That's awesome. That's awesome, Dave. See, not everybody's willing to do that. But again, the only way you can grow is if you plant the seed. That seed is painful. That seed can be your house. That seed could be quitting that job. That seed could be, working till 3 a.m. for the next 6 months in order to get something off the ground. What people don't realize is when I had this book, I'm going to give you a couple book recommendations. When I wrote this book, I got a traditional book publisher. Good to see you. Good to see you here as well. Changing Lives in 2. I love that. I love that title. That's awesome. That's awesome. See you, Greg. The big dreamer, man. Always doing great things in this community. I love it. Sold our house to start my husband's business is booming. Yes, that's right, Melissa. I'll talk to you about your business. That's awesome. I'm very happy and proud of you guys. It's awesome. And so when I was writing this book, I had a client that I was working on 12 hours a day. Actually 12, 13 hours a day. I'd come home about 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'd write this book as much as I possibly can until 3 a.m. for like 3 months, because I was told I had to write this book in 3 months or I would lose my contract. I had a book contract. So, seed planted, yes. I've deliberately taken myself down from 4 to 2 days a week on my job. I'll quit soon. There you go, Simone. When you have tangible goals, your brain attaches to them. It's like this. When you can see what the end looks like, your brain works backwards, right? So here's an example. This happens all the time. I'm going to give you a quick example. This is like a free example, very good example. When you have an income goal, for example, say your income goal is to make $25,000 doing something. Now let's make it even. $50,000 doing something. If you can break that down into small, manageable, tangible amounts, it makes it easier for you to absorb them. Right now, $50,000 is a lot of money to most people. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It's a lot of money, right? But if you need to get $50,000 in sales, that could be something as 50 clients at $1,000, right? Quit. That's awesome. You got to quit. I love that, right? It's 50 people at 1,000 apiece, right? Or 100 people at, 100 people at 500 apiece. So you can break that down further and further to small incremental amounts of whatever you sell. You have a general idea as to how you can sell, who you can sell to, and how much you can sell it for. Where can I get your book? My book is online. You can get it up. It's tangible. You can get it from me at startmeupbook.com. You can also get it at Amazon and at Barnes & Nobles. It's in the stores at Barnes & Noble. Just check online before you go in, but it's Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, and at startmeupbook.com for me as well. So here's the other thing. When you see people say this course or this price or this thing or this car payment is only, 50 cents a day, $3 a day. You know why they do that? Because your brain can absorb $3 a day. What your brain can absorb is $1,000. Make sense? And so as a result of that, it makes it easier for you to absorb and then make the commitment and the investment. So you got to do the same thing with your income goals. This is the name of the book, Start Me Up, the No Business Plan, Business Plan. Go ahead and screenshot it if you'd like. Start Me Up, the No Business Plan, Business Plan. And there you go. Start Me Up, the No Business Plan, Business Plan. Yeah, Start Me Up is the book. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do I have a website designer? Do I? No. Sort of. Let me explain this. So what I do is I use WordPress. I get WordPress templates. I upload WordPress myself. I know how to use WordPress, but I also have somebody overseas who helps me with modifications and stuff. Because it's cheaper to do that. So I have somebody on Fiverr or somebody I use on freelancer.com to do some work for me. I'm freaking awesome and telling your story. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Dave is awesome too. Dave is awesome too. So check him out as well. And that's kind of how I do mine. As I'm trying to get out things quickly. But yes, there are multiple ways. There's so many ways to skin a cat. Sorry, it's not really a good thing, but there's so many ways to skin a cat. So my ways, and they might work for me, and they may not work for you, and they may work for somebody else, and it is what it is. So again, my whole goal today was to tell you guys about wasted time is worse than wasted money. You got people trying to save money every single day, right? The goal is this. You should be trying to think about how to make money. Do not let people tell you in society that money's the root of all evil. Don't let people tell you that money's a bad thing. You got to pay bills with money, right? Do not think from a perspective of, I just need enough. All I need is enough money to pay my bills. What kind of life is that? You will never have enough if you think that way. You will never have enough. Hey, from Barcelona. Good to see you. Good to see you. I love Barcelona. I was there 15 years ago for vacation when I was living in Europe. But so going back to what I'm saying, guys, I want the mindset to shift coming 2016. So the person who was on here earlier, I forgot her name, but she was asking about how can she monetize herself. The goal is simple. You have to be able to identify what you know, what you've done before, what you have that people will pay you money for. That's it. Exactly. Poverty or just barely getting by is evil. That is the evil part of it. Can't help anyone if you don't have enough for your family. Exactly, Susan. That's great. Hey, hello. Good to see you here. And so there's so many people. Oh, that's awesome, Carla. There's so many, and I got your email, so I replied. I'm going to reply to you again in a day or so, so we can get started. And there's so many people who struggle because they're thinking of cutting corners, cutting money, and not thinking about ways to increase and ways to grow. And what's important in your life, not only in your business, but in your life, is finding ways to increase. My life changed when I started reading. So somebody, I think Marcel and somebody else had asked me about, thank you so much, Divas Charles. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a minute since I've seen you on my scope. Someone asked me about books. The Alchemist is a great book. I'm going to give you a few books about changing your mindset, right? And then from there, I also read business books too. Oh, hey, Dr. Hightower. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being in here. I appreciate you. Great to see you. The Alchemist is a great book. It's just a quick read, 190 pages. It's about somebody finding their own personal legend. Another great book is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Now, the reason why the 10X Rule is amazing is, hey, Kiki Popkins, I love it. Kiki Poppins, I love it. The reason why the 10X Rule is a great book is because the 10X Rule, it shows you the importance of taking massive action in life. And what happened in my life, I was taking massive action over certain things. When I got this book deal, hey, take care, Dave. Thank you so much for being in my scope, man. I really appreciate it. The 10X Rule is phenomenal. So when I was reading the 10X Rule, I realized something, that my ability to get what I want in my life came down from doing massive action, among other things. And so the thing with massive action is taking massive amounts of action. I talk to people about trying to get a job. Right? When people have asked me, it's like, I'm looking for a job. I ask them, how many people have you reached out to? Who have you called? What have you done? I called this one person. I sent my resume to this one person, and there's no jobs out there. And I told him, I said, look, If you really wanted a job, you have to take massive amounts of action. The average person will do what you do. The average person will knock on 1 or 2 doors and then complain, right? The person who really wants it will go after 300, 400, 500. Why? Because you may get what you want in the first 10, the first 20, the first 100, but you will never know. The second thing you'll also get is perspective on what it takes to get to that next level. My ability to get a book deal from a traditional publisher came down to my ability to send out copious amounts of emails. I sent over 250, 260 emails, right, and queries to people on a regular basis, bothering them, sending them ideas all the time. But because I was able to do that, I was able to write. So when I did get an opportunity, I was able to write a 65,000 word manuscript in 3 months while working 12 hours a day. Why? Because I had been doing it for the last several years. Hey, welcome from Brazil, Luana. Thank you, welcome. And so I want to, that's kind of what I want to pour you. So it's Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I'm trying to think what else. 3 Feet from Gold. 3 Feet from Gold is another great book. That's by Greg Reed. It's part of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Millionaire Fastlane. Whoever's listening to this right now, if you're still here, put a 1 in the chat box, say something. Write this book down. It's called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. It's called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. Check it out, The Millionaire Fastlane. There's a few things you can do. You can go online and find videos and to catch up on that, to learn, like to give you synopsis. But it's an amazing book. The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. It's a great book. It gets your mindset shifting, right? From this being an employee, working at a minimum, thinking about minimum stuff. Yes, by MJ DeMarco. Yes, first connection is connection is less than stellar. That sucks. I'll be starting my own webinars. What is your tips on starting my webinar and getting listeners? Cuts and color. Make sure you have good webinar software. Good question, Cuts and Color. The other thing I would say is you want to start generating, oh, thank you so much, Dr. Hightower. I had to be persistent. I had no other choice. I can't make a phone call for someone to give me money. I don't have that I don't have this resource. Some people can call the parents and the uncle and they can call people. They can call a friend. Someone write them a check. I don't have that I never had that growing up. So I personally have to put in the grind and the effort to get what I want. Yes, Cuts and Color. Second thing is, thank you so much for sharing that, Lo. You got to add value on the webinar. But before you get there, in order to find people you got to continue to give value beforehand. So whether it's a freebie, say, hey, here's this free 1-page thing about, since you do Cuts and Color, I'm assuming it's hair. You can say, here's this 1-page thing about, how to save your hair from damaged ends or something like that. Do something like that, like a 1-page or a small little worksheet or, like a list or resources, the top 5 home coloring kits, whatever. And then in addition to that, hey, by the way, I'm doing a live webinar to show you some more stuff. Sign up for this webinar. It's on this date or whatever else. And that's how you do it. And you give tremendous amounts of value, right? This is a secret in giving webinars and giving value. You tell people the what and the why. And then they'll pay for the how. That's how it is. I'll show you the what and the why, and then you can pay for the how. And the reason the how works is because the how is, I'll be doing life coaching, same thing, whatever it is. If it's life coaching, it's these 5 things help your life or whatever. You got to think of something that people really want and provide that with them. And then when you go through it, you got to tell them all these things. You can tell them the resources. Don't try to, I give away 90% of my stuff for free. The 10% stuff I charge, but 90% of the things I give away for free. And it really helps. So like things like this, my webinars I've given away for free that people spend thousands of dollars hiring PR people to help them with it. So you can give away a lot of free content and people feel comfortable, working with you after that because you taught them something that they really needed. Yes, Susan mentioned had a great point earlier. Yes, success takes time. Success leaves clues. There are books out there that can change your life. There are books that have changed my life. And as a result of that, I am the person I am today because I've invested my time and energy in those books. Again, wasted time is worse than wasted money. I can get money later. I can do something to get money always. I can't do something to get time back. Once I spend my time, it's gone. When I make a decision to go out of town, when I make a decision to go to this event or do these things or whatever else, it's very, very important for me, right? Because I realize my time, I realize the value of the time that I have, and it's important for me to share, to share my gifts. And so when I do something, it's because I really want to, share, give a lot of value. All right. With that being said, guys, it's been a long-ass scope, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, 2 things I'm going to leave with you. Oh, Outwitting the Devil is a great book, too. It's a great book. That's a very good book. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much. 87 Roberts, I appreciate you saying that. Namaste. Thank you so much for saying that. It's so cool. One Love, Cuts and Color. Guys, time is our most valuable asset. I agree with you. Great day, Susan. Thanks for being in here as well. Marcel, you are the man. It is a pleasure to see you, my friend. One thing, again, if you want a copy of the book, startmeupbook.com is the site, or Amazon or Barnes & Nobles. If you want to learn more about biz coaching, biz strategy, hey, Timeline Classic, thanks for joining. You have to catch a replay. Thank you so much. Connect us too. Angel Bookshelf, thank you so much, Lo. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Simone Phoenix. Please catch the replay. If you want to learn more about the things that I do, there's 2 things I'm going to leave you with. Check out economics.com to learn about what I do specifically, tell you specifically what I do. It's economics.com, EKANOMSICS.com. I'm also launching a course in a couple of weeks called How to Grab Media Attention. I'm teaching everybody who jumps on the course how I grab media attention. If you go to that site now, you get access to 3 videos that teach you how to grab media attention for your business, your brand, and your blog. That's free, right? And then I'm hosting a webinar next week. I think next week, Tuesday. Economics, that's perfect. Connect us to. And then I'm hosting a webinar next week. That's actually going to teach the pieces of I'm going to round it all out and talk about how to monetize your media appearances. So how to grab media attention is I'm sharing basically the tools that I use, everything that I do in order to get on television, write for the Huffington Post, get on blogs, get on podcasts, get everywhere else. Thanks so much, Alexis. I appreciate it thank you so much for joining. And then I'm also going to I'm going to do a surprise one-time webinar for goal setting for 2016, but I'm going to announce that a little bit later once I've set everything up. That'll be like a 2-hour thing. We're going to talk about gifts. Like what I did today, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. So anybody who comes, who's like, I have an idea for this. What do I do? Tell me what you want to do, and I'm going to show you specifically how to do it. And we're going to have I'm going to have a bunch of people on as this webinar as we do that. That's a separate one we do. I'm doing that probably in a week or so, but I'll announce it later. That'll be a small, time investment, like $49 or something like that. Something ridiculously cheap. Why? Because if you don't commit to something, even monetarily, you won't go through with it. I've done the same thing. There are courses I bought that I haven't finished because there wasn't enough money. $200 courses. I did them, but I didn't really do them. Courses I spent $2,000 on, I've gone through those suckers, and I've called and I've used them over and over again. So I know that. So that's why, for me, I want to add a little bit to it to get you to actually commit. And then I'd rather have one person on there and they pay $49 than have 1,000 people on there and they go on for free. Because most of them aren't going to do anything. There's no point. So I want you to act. So how to grab media attention. Lo put that in the scope. Thank you so much. You put it in earlier. It's howtograbmediaattention.com. That's how you grab media attention for your business, your brand, and your blog. And then if you want to learn more about my coaching and business consultancy, it's economics.com. That's EKANOMICS.com. Guys, happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. I think that's over now. Merry Christmas. And all the other, holidays are out there. I will see you guys tomorrow.